All right, it's still Good Morning Anambra show on ABS television, and this time around we are moving over to the sports splash for today. And Ike is here to really tell us what is happening in the world of sports. Now, Ike, I learned Anambra just crashed out from Confederation Cup. What's going on with Enyimba and others in the world of sports for today?
Well, quite unfortunate that Enyimba are out of the CAF Confederation Cup, but the only good news we have from it is that we'll still maintain the coefficient in the sense that we'll have 4 clubs in Nigerian football circles still featuring in the CAF Interclub competition, be it CAF Confederation Cup or CAF Champions League. If we had gone down to 13th position, in terms of coefficients, because I think AS Bamako lost in their own side, so we are lucky. We are 12th. That's why. If not, what would have happened would have been the winner of the league and the winner of the FA Cup in Nigeria would have been representing Nigeria, one in the CAF Confederation Cup and one in the CAF Champions League. But thank God it didn't happen.
All right.
But it tells you that we still have to do a whole lot in our league to get better.
Okay, take it up from there.
Yeah, sure. Good morning, sports fans. It is Sports Splash on ABS TV. And of course, it's a brand new week, the Monday edition. My name is Ike Moke, the Sports Splash, and we'll have the details shortly. Of course, a very good morning to you. Once again, thank you very much for joining us for Sports Splash on ABS TV. I'm Ike Nwokedi. And on the show this morning, we'll tell you that Solution FC dispatched Kun Khalifat FC in the Oriental Derby by 2-0. And that was last Saturday as a continuation of the Nigeria, of course, Nigeria National League, the second tier of Nigeria Club Football. Also tell you about the Onitsha ex-footballers and diaspora on a field. They had their friendly match between, that's at the Stephen Keshi Stadium, where they took on Anambra State All-Stars. We'll also tell you about something great coming to Anambra State. Yes, the national coach of the under-17 football side, talking about Manu Garba will be in Anambra State to scout for players that are on 17 years and below, to give them opportunity to feature in the under-17 national team. So it's a big one coming to Anambra State. We'll also talk about that on the show, and then we'll talk about tennis. The Aussies Open is still on, and we'll probably talk about athletics and the result service of league matches played across Western Europe. But let's begin with our first story. Our first story will start from the local scene. Let's go to the Stephen Keshi Stadium, Asaba. And let's tell you that Onitsha ex-footballers in diaspora on a feed on Friday, the 10th of January 2025, played a novelty match against Anambra State All-Stars, and the novelty match which took place at the Stephen Keshi Stadium, Asaba. Delta State was the convergence of the ex-footballers in Onitsha and the state at large, as well as the top football administrators in the state and beyond. And the friendly match was part of activities to conclude the abridged footballing program of Onefeed for the 2024-2025 year, as Onefeed under 17 Cup finals saw Zala FA emerging champions ahead of Olive Charles FA in the 8-team competition. According to Onefeed President Nkemakonam Jidofo Nwonwu, fondly known as All Man, the friendly match was an opportunity for ex-footballers in the state to meet each other, cross-fertilize ideas, and strategize on how to take the growth of football in Onitsha and the state to the next level. He commended the members for turning out in their numbers to be part of the historic moment provided through the friendly, while promising to use the Onefeed platform to provide an atmosphere for young and upcoming actors who are dedicated, disciplined, and committed in eking out a living via playing professional football. Present during the novelty match was the member representing Onitsha North constituency 2 at the Anambra State House of Assembly, Honorable Patrick Okafo, and the chairman, Anambra State Football Association, ANSFA, in the person of Chief Chikelu Iluenyose, fondly known as the General. So that one was about the Onefeed, of course, the Onefeed competition played. The Onefeed friendly match they played against Anambra State All-Stars is part of the program, their program to wind off the 2024-2025 bridged football season. Yes, we saw the finals earlier on in the Honor Feed Under 17 Cup, where we saw Ozala Football Academy defeating Olive Charles Efe in the finals of that competition via penalties after the game had ended and 2-2 at the Chuba Ibazu Stadium on Onitsha. So that friendly, of course, was Honor Feed taking on. Talking about Anambra State All-Stars in that one. Great one it was, and kudos to the Honor Feed Onitsha ex-footballers in diaspora for what they were doing in Onitsha, taking football to the next level and also by extension to the entire state. Now let's move on to our second story. Our second story is about Anambra Club, a Solution Football Club. Yes, a Solution FC, of course, at the weekend defeated Kun Khalifat FC of Owerri by 2-0. It was the Oriental derby of some sort. Yes, in that match, 2 goals in both halves from Romanus Chinonso and Emeka Oyeke gave Anambra Club, a Solution FC, the maximum points at the Oka City Stadium in one of the match day 6 fixtures of the ongoing Nigeria National League. That's talking about the NNL. The technical crew led by Cameroonian tactician Emmanuel Dorcha kept the starting 11 of the starting 11 that saw off at the Gateway United AFC in the previous match day for the crucial Oriental Derby, and paid off with a resounding victory for the Solution boys. And of course, I will show you some of the pictures from that match. Of course, shortly, this one was a first story. Let's show you the pictures from the Oka City Stadium in the match where Solution FC took on Kun Khalifat FC in a game that ended by 2-0. And in continuation of that, Solution FC kicked off and came closer to scoring within a minute of the game as Chibuzo Ekocha's well-struck effort from a tight angle went inches off the mark after a swift team play which saw the Owerri side defense switching off, but however countered their luck. And of course, defender Solomon Aban came closer to getting the cutting razor with a long-range effort from a free kick in the 20th minute of the game, going out wide as the home side piled up pressure on the visitors for the cutting razor. And Romanus Chinonso broke the deadlock a minute before the break, scoring from a sublime free kick beyond the line of sight of Kun Khalifat FC shortstopper Chizoba Owando to give the Solution boys the deserved lead going into the break. And substitute Emeka Oyeke headed home an incisive cross from an overlapping Chibueze Oputa just 4 minutes after joining the fray to double the lead for his side in the 67th minute of the game. And the Solution boys should have had a penalty 5 minutes before the end of the game. That penalty didn't come, and that would have been a penalty. Sam Divine Victor, who was true on goal, was hacked down cynically inside the box by Joseph Ame, the defender of Kun Khalifat FC, but the center referee waved off the series of appeal from the home team, and the match came to an end. Solution FC will next face Abakiliki FC in one of the match day 7 fixtures come Saturday, the 25th of January 2025, and that's the Abakiliki Township Stadium in Ebonyi State. So congratulations to Solution FC for getting the better of Kun Khalifat FC. He ended 2-0, scorers Romanus Chinonso, Emeka Oyeke also. That was in the 44th and 67th minute, respectively, in that encounter. Let's move on to our third story. Yes, our third story is about the national under-17 coach, Manu Garba. Yes, Manu Garba, it's a great opportunity which awaits players under the age of 17 in Anambra State. And of course, it comes January 2025 at the Oka City Stadium as the coach of Nigeria under-17 team, Coach Manu Garba, and the team coordinator Bello will be in Anambra State to scout for good under-17 talents that will be invited to the camp of the Nigeria under-17 team and the Golden Eaglets in February 2025. That's for the Golden Eaglets in February 2025 for camp campaign, which is expected to kick off. The great program is in partnership with the Anambra State Football Association, ANSFA, and the aim is to expose numerous young talents in Anambra State and thereby giving them an opportunity to be part of the under-17 national team, the Golden Eaglets. This is one of the great initiatives of Chief Chikelu Iluenyose, fondly known as the General, the Chairman of the Anambra State Football Association, ANSFA, to develop grassroots football in Anambra State. Every Anambra State player below the age of 17 is invited to the scouting program, and the chairman, Anambra State Football Association, Chief Chikelu Ilenyose, have extended the invitation to teams and academies that are affiliated to the Anambra State Football Association, and warned the teams against parading overage players. So for the teams out there, this is a great opportunity. Players, if you have players who are 17 years and below that can play quality football, it's an opportunity for you to give them a lifetime opportunity for them to play maybe at the biggest level of Nigerian football, starting with the under-17. So ensure that they are there at the Awka City Stadium on Wednesday and Thursday. The program starts by 7 a.m. We're here. So we expect our clubs, football clubs and academics, to have their players that are 17 years and below to be there. The national under-17 coach will be there to scout for players, and this is a big opportunity for them. And kudos to the ANSFA for making this possible, and also all those equally supporting the initiative, as we have Manu Garba visiting Anambra State. So Awka City Stadium will be the center of attraction on Wednesday and Thursday this week. Let's move on to another story. Let's tell you that new Super Eagles coach Eric Chelly said he hopes to quickly establish a connection with Nigeria's top stars, and among them strikers Victor Osimhen and Ademola Lookman. He said, "I will come with a lot of humility, but once again, I have a lot of certainties. This is a dialogue that we will have to establish between us. I feel ready to learn this great team with great players, so I'm part of the progression process. The players will help me to progress, and I will help them progress too." The 47-year-old coach has maintained that his results with the Super Eagles will speak for him after his appointment had divided opinions among football fans in the country and beyond. The former Mali coach has signed a 2-year contract with an option for an additional year. His main mandate is to qualify Nigeria to the 2026 World Cup. My results and the team's results will speak for me, so we can say what we want, the new Eagles coach has said. It's normal that there is criticism, and wherever I go, in any club or team, there will be people who are fans of me and others who will hate me, and Chelly added, but he promised to do his best to ensure that Nigeria book their place to play at the FIFA Soccer Mondial, the biggest soccer fiesta in the globe, later in 2026. And away from that, let's go to the African scene. Let's tell you that the decision to postpone the 2024 African Nations Championship, CHAN, has been backed by footballing figures on the continent, despite wider discussions about the competition's viability. The tournament for domestic-based players has been moved from February to August, a decision the Confederation of African Football, CAF, made to ensure infrastructure and facilities in co-hosting countries Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda are at the levels necessary, and certain reports have suggested that of the 3 nations who will also stage the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations, it is Kenya where most of the work on stadiums and infrastructure is required. However, Kenyan Sports Minister Salim Vuria described those claims as baseless, while Football Kenya Federation President Hussein Mohammed said that the 6-month delay would allow the country time to improve on perfection. CAF's call to postpone CHAN 2024, made just 18 days before the opening game was scheduled, has caused a disruption for those teams who had already announced squads, began training camps, and booked travel and accommodation accommodation and the mid-season timing of the tournament has also been seen as an issue, and the president of Tanzanian club Yanga Hesti said that welcome the postponement are giving the knock-on effect on domestic leagues, and CHAN Festa played in 2009 was established by CAF to give tournament experience to players based on the continent, because many senior national sides are not now drawn from top talents who ply their trade overseas, predominantly in Europe. And former Tanzanian FA president Lioga Tenga described CHAN as a noble cause and has urged football leaders to make sure he continues. From a player's perspective, Kenya midfielder Kenneth Muguna considers the postponement a positive for his side. For me, I feel that postponement is unnecessary considering the timing of the league. And most of the leagues are right now on, when you talk about the 2024-2025 calendar, which for some teams it starts as early as August or start as early as September and October, and it winds off in the month of May of the incoming year. So having that chance this period where the league is already at the halfway mark may just affect the dynamics of some club. But if CHAN comes in the month of August, where the league is about starting and holds for a period of 3 weeks, most teams can adapt without their key players, at least for the first 2 weeks of the league, their league, before the players who are representing their country returns from the national team program. Well, still on the African scene, let's tell you that Hull City have signed a veteran Morocco winger Nadim Amrabat on a deal until the end of the season. We can confirm the 37-year-old was a free agent after leaving Greek side AEK Athens earlier this month. Amrabat, the older brother of former Manchester United midfielder Sofiane, spent 2 years with Watford between 2016 and 2018 and has also played in the Netherlands, Turkey, Spain, and Saudi Arabia. England is the best country in the world when it comes to football, he told the club official website, and the Premier League is above all the leagues in the world, and the Championship is a respected league, Amrabat said after signing a new deal with his team, and of course signing for Hull City, and after leaving AEK Athens. We wish him all the very best playing for Hull City in the Championship. You're watching Sports Splash on ABS TV. Let's go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with more stories on the African scene, and we'll check out other sports. We'll look at what's happening in the world of athletics, tennis, and then we'll check out the results of league matches that played across major leagues in Western Europe. That was at the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and that's coming up on the second half of Sports Splash. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. It is still Sports Splash on ABS TV. The Monday edition is the first one for the week. Yes, in the first half, we told you that the Onefeed, the Onitsha ex-footballers in diaspora, recently had a novelty match with. It was a novelty match they had with Anambra State All-Stars, and the match was played at the Stephen Okechi Stadium in Asaba. And of course, the essence of that was to bring ex-footballers in diaspora, ex-footballers in Onitsha, in diaspora, and those in Anambra State and beyond together, or people of Anambra extraction, to talk about how to take football in Onitsha, Anambra State to Onitsha, and also the rest of the state to the next level. And it was being coordinated by Onitsha ex-footballers in diaspora. And of course, in that one, we had a member representing Onitsha North constituency to the Anambra State House of Assembly, Honorable Patrick Okafor there. And we equally had the chairman, Anambra State Football Association, also witnessing that one. So it was great having that one happen at the Stephen Keshi Stadium, Onitsha, courtesy of Onefeed, headed by Nkema Konam Jidofa Nwonwu, fondly known as the All-Man. We equally told you that Anambra Club, Solution FC, on Saturday defeated Kun Kalifat FC of Owerri by 2-0 in the Oriental Derby. Was the match day 6 program of it was a match day 6 program of the Nigerian National League, and we saw 2 goals are scored in both halves. The first one was scored just a minute before the break by Romanus Chinon. So a sublime free kick. It was actually the second goal for him in 2 matches. He had equally scored a free kick. That was 2 weeks ago when the side took on Gateway FC at the Gateway International Stadium in Laro. He scored the 3rd goal for Solution FC that ensured they came out at 3-1 winners in that match played at the Gateway International Stadium in Ilaro as part of the continuation of the Nigerian National League. And that match was match day 6. And of course, we equally told you that the next game for Solution FC is the match day 7. They will be traveling to Abakaliki, the capital of Ebonyi State, for another Oriental derby. This time around is the new boys, Abakaliki FC. They will be playing. The aftermath of that, they will be back home, and their next game will be Madiba FC, and that should be match day 8. On match day 9 should be ABS FC, and that one should be happening at the Lorraine Township Stadium. Match day 10 also, just to give you a lowdown of the fixtures remaining in the first round. On match day 8. Yes, after match day 7 against Abakaliki FC away from home. The next game will be Madiba FC. That should be match day 8 at the Oka City Stadium, followed by an away trip to ABS FC in Lorraine. And then after that, they will be back home playing Godswill Akpabio FC at the Oka City Stadium, and then wind off at the first round of the league, the 2024-2025 league, with a trip to Osun State to take on Osun United, and that match will happen in Oshobo, the Oshobo Stadium, the home ground of Osun United. So that's where it is now for Solution FC. They are currently 3rd on the log of the Conference B of the 2024-2025 season. Also on the show, in the first half, I will told you that Manu Garaba, the Nigerian coach for the under-17 national team, will be in Anambra State for a 2-day scouting program, which will commence on Wednesday and wind off on Thursday at the Oka City Stadium. And the scouting program is for players who are 17 years and below. And of course, I will urge clubs to give their players an opportunity to be there, to be part of the scouting program. It is not easy to have the national coach visiting Anambra State to look for players. And this was an initiative of the chairman, Anambra State Football Association, Chief Chikeluo Ilenyos. Will commend him for that good one. And also, we'll do needful by ensuring we'll get you some of the clips and pictures during the scouting program on Wednesday and Thursday at the Oka City Stadium. We equally told you about Eric Chelly, the coach of the Super Eagles, who is confident that with his charges and his experience, and he will do the needful by ensuring that Nigeria qualifies for the 2026 World Cup coming up. And of course, despite the fact that he may not be liked by all football fans, and he may not be the choice of all football fans, but he believes that with the players in his arsenal and with his world of experience, he will take us to the next level in football. He's been given the mandate to ensure that we qualify for the 2026 World Cup. So hope you're watching out for that, and let's see how far he can go with that one. That's talking about Eric Chelly, the new coach of the Super Eagles. And now, in continuation of more stories, let's go back to the African scene. Let's tell you that Mario Lemina has made a U-turn at Wolverhampton Wanderers and is available for selection until his future is resolved, and the midfielder asked to be left out of the squad for the midweek 3-0 defeat at Newcastle United amid his desire to leave the Molineux and Saudi Pro League side. Al Shabab want to sign the 31-year-old and have asked her to take him for free, something Wolverhampton Wanderers are not entertaining. But Lemina apologized to Wolves boss Victor Pereira on Friday and could now be included in the squad for subsequent matches. And of course, he is expected to be in the squad this Monday night when his team will play Chelsea at the Stamford Bridge. And Wolverhampton Wanderers are 17th on the log in the Premier League, and they want £5 million for Lemina, who joined from Southampton 2 years ago. And Pereira also wants to sign 2 players, one a midfielder regardless of whether Lemina is at the Molineux next month or not. He lost the captaincy to Nelson Semedo last month after clashing with West Ham's Jarrod Bowen following the 2-1 defeat at the London Stadium before Pereira replaced Gary O'Neill as the head coach of Wolverhampton Wanderers. And away from that, let's talk about athletics and distance running. Great Eliud Kipchoge will return to the London Marathon in the month of April. We're here. And Kenya's Kipchoge, a two-time Olympic marathon champion, is the record 4-time winner of the men's race in London, where he last competed, and that was in 2020. And the 40-year-old former world record holder described his mid-race dropout at his final Olympic Games in Paris as demoralizing, but still believes that he can compete for a fifth victory in London. Sports is full of challenges. He said, I'm still working harder to get better, trying to inspire people and sell the power of sports. I still think I can compete, and I am training in a good way and competing with the youngest people. The 2025 London Marathon takes place on Sunday, the 27th of April, and London Marathon CEO Hugh Bastia said that this year's event boosts the greatest elite field in the history of the London Marathon. And women's world record holder Ruth Chepgetty, Olympic champion Stefan Hassan, and silver medalist Tiger Asefa, the three fastest women in history, have been confirmed in the women's race, which will see Elisha Malcolgan make her debut, and Emil Kairesa will lead a British interest in the men's race, where he could have Mo Farah's British record in his sights, and will be joined by Olympic and world triathlon champion Alexa Yee. Kipchoge became the first athlete to run a marathon in under 2 hours, and that was in October 2019. However, that time is not recognized as the official world record because it was not in an open competition, and he used a team of rotating pacemakers. His official personal best stands at 2 hours, 1 minute and 9 seconds, the second fastest time in history. In addition to his Olympic triumphs at both Rio in 2016 and Tokyo in 2020, Kipchoge has 11 victories across the world's major marathons. That includes an unbeaten 4-year streak in London in 2015, 2016, 2018, and 2019. His previous appearance came during the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, when he finished 8th in that marathon. And we wish him all the very best as we look towards the April 27 marathon. That's Kipchoge, the Kenyan, and he's preparing well for this one. Now, let's move to the world of tennis. Yes, the first Grand Slam of the year is still on in Australia, known as the Aussies Open. Yeah, there are 4 Grand Slams of the year. Just to inform you, have the first one, which is usually the Australian Open, and then we'll have the second one, the French Open, which is fondly called the Roland Garros, and then we'll have the third one, which is the Wimbledon XW19 is fondly called, and then we'll have the last one for the year, the US Open. The first one is usually Australian Open, we told you, in the month of January. The second is always the French Open, usually in the month of March, April. Then we'll have Wimbledon, which comes up sometime in the month of June, July, and then the last one for the year is usually August, September, and that is the US Open. But let's tell you that Coco Gauff fought from a set down to beat Belinda Bencic and joined the defending champion Aryna Sabalenka in the Australian Open quarterfinals. The American third seeder was not at her best, but outlasted Switzerland's Bencic 5-7, 6-2, 6-1. Earlier, Sabalenka breezed past Russian 17-year-old Mira Andreeva in a 6-1, 6-2 victory. And Coco Gauff's victory is 34 in 34. The Coco Gauff's victory in 34-degree heat, the hottest day of the tournament thus far, extended the 20-year-old winning run to 11 matches. And Belarusian top seed Sabalenka, 26 years of age, and meanwhile remained on course for a third straight Australian Open title after wrapping up her win over Andreeva in just 62 minutes at the Rod Oliver Arena. It was the two-time champions, 18th win in a row at the Melbourne Park, and set up a quarterfinal against another Russian, Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. Pavlyuchenkova defeated Croatia's Aldona Vekic 7-6 and 6-love in the fourth round earlier on Sunday. And Coco Golf will play 11th seed Paola Badosa in the last 8 after the Spaniard that defeated Serbia's Olga Danilovic 6-1, 7-6 in their match. Should they both win their quarterfinals, Sabalenka and Golf will meet in the semifinals, and Sabalenka is aiming to become the first woman since Martina Hingis 26 years ago to win 3 consecutive Australian Open titles. Only 4 other women have achieved that feat in history. Margaret Court, Evonne Goolagong, Steffi Graf, and Monica Seles have been the ones that have achieved that record. And still talking about tennis, as the last story from the Australian Open. Let's tell you that Daniil Medvedev has been fined £60,000 for unsportsmanlike conduct following his behavior at the Australian Open. The Russian fifth seeder destroyed a net camera by furiously smashing his racket into it during a 5-set first-round win against world number 418, Cassidyta Samres. He then incurred a point penalty during the second round defeat by American teenager Lenatin after throwing his racket before failing to attend a mandatory post-match news conference. Medvedev collected 200,000 Australian dollars. That's about 102,000 pounds for reaching the second round at the Melbourne Park. However, he will be required to pay fines totaling 76,000 US dollars. That's about 62,400 pounds after overstepping the mark with his behavior. The 28-year-old reached the final in Australia last year, but the surprising defeat at this time by Tien, 90 years of age, marked the earliest exit at a Grand Slam since the first round loss at the 2023 French Open. Britain's Jack Draper has also been fined 4,000 US dollars. That's about 3,287 pounds for smashing his racket during his third round win over Alexander Vukic in their match. So for that man, talking about Medvedev, he has to do a whole lot in controlling his temper on the court as not to incur more fines and much more bigger penalties in due course of his career. And now to some football news. Let's tell you that Real Madrid defender David Alaba could play is expected to play in Sunday's La Liga game against Las Palmas at the Santiago Bernabeu more than a year after sustaining a serious knee injury. Manager Carlo Ancelotti told the media at the weekend the Australian international has been sidelined since December 2023 after suffering an ACL, that's an anterior cruciate ligament, in his left knee during a league game. And the 32-year-old underwent more knee surgery in the month of May 2024. And usually anterior cruciate ligament, when that happens, you expect a player to be out for a minimum of 10 to 11 months. That's the entire duration of the season, and most times the whole year you're not going to see the player again. And the centre-back has scored 5 goals and registered 9 assists in 102 appearances for Madrid since joining in July 2021 from Bayern Munich. And Madrid were held to a 1-1 draw at Las Palmas in the month of August, and Alaba's return to the squad that will be a booster, with Madrid's backline already weakened by the absence of Eder Militao and Dani Carvajal due to anterior cruciate ligament injuries also. While Alaba was included in the squad list, Talisman Vinicius Jr. was not due to suspension after receiving a red card in Madrid's 2-1 win against Valencia in their last league match. But in the aftermath of that game, Real Madrid got the better of their opponents. That's Las Palmas. They defeated them by 4-1 in that match. And that will now lead us to results of our league matches across Western Europe. Yes, since we've talked about Real Madrid and of course beating Las Palmas by 4-1, let's just give you The full bouquet of the results are from the Spanish La Liga. But in the Spanish La Liga, the Mestalla, it was Valencia 1, Real Sociedad 0. Osasuna played out a 1-1 draw against Rayo Vallecano, who had Celta Vigo losing at home to Athletic Club by 1-2. Getafe at the Coliseum Alfonso Perez played out a 1-1 draw against Barcelona. It was Real Betis 1, Deportivo Alaves 3. Leganes 1, Atletico Madrid 0. Girona lost at home to Sevilla 1-2, while Espanyol defeated Real Sociedad by Real Valladolid by 2-1 in their encounter. And this night at the El Madrigal Stadium, the Yellow Submarine, the club known as Villarreal, are expected to take on Real Mallorca. Villarreal, Real Mallorca is the last match for this weekend, the match day 4 in the Spanish La Liga. Moving to the French Ligue 1. In the French Ligue 1, Olympique Marseille could not defeat Strasbourg at the Stade Velodrome. That game ended 1-1. Elsewhere, it was Angers 2, Auxerre 0, Reims 1, Le Havre 1, and Saint-Etienne played out a 1-1 draw against Nantes. It was Lyon, Olympique Lyon at the Stade Jalon played out a goalless draw against Toulouse. Rennes lost 1-2 to Brest at home. It was Lens 1, PSG 2. PSG winning away from home. Leo defeated Nice by 2-1, and Montpellier saw off AS Monaco by 2-1. In the German Bundesliga, Werder Bremen 0, Augsburg 2, Union Berlin 2, Mainz 0-5-1. At the Bay Arena, Bayer Leverkusen defeated Borussia Mönchengladbach by 3-1. Bayern Munich saw off Wolfsburg by 3-2. FC Heidenheim lost at home to St. Pauli 2-0. Was hosting Kiel 1, Hoffenheim 3. VfB Stuttgart mauled Freiburg by 4-0, and VfL Bochum played out a 3-3 draw against RB Leipzig in a 6-goal thriller, while Eintracht Frankfurt defeated Borussia Dortmund by 2-0. And quickly to the Italian Serie A. In the Serie A, Inter Milan defeated Empoli by 3-1. Hellas Verona 0, Lazio 3, Cagliari 4, Lecce 1, Parma 1, Venezia 1, Fiorentina 1, Torino 1, Atalanta 2, Napoli 3. Juventus defeated AC Milan. It was one of the star matches of the weekend. Juventus beating AC Milan by 2-0. Bologna 3, Monza 1. AS Roma at the Stadio Olimpico defeated Genoa by 3-1. And to wrap off this week day in Serie A, Como 1907 is expected to take on Udinese later tonight to wrap up this match day. And in England, let's tell you that Chelsea will take on Wolverhampton Wanderers tonight in the Premier League. In results of matches are played, Ipswich Town lost at home 0-6 to Manchester City. Everton defeated Tottenham Hotspur by 3-2. Manchester United 1. Brighton and Hove Albion 3. And this is 3 defeats against Brighton. Almost every year, Manchester United loses at home to Brighton. In 2024, it happened. 2023, it happened. I think that of 2024 was 2-1, and also that of 2023, it looks like it was 3-1. And this time around, Man U losing to Brighton by 1-3. And Nottingham Forest defeated Southampton by 3-2 to continue their push to ensure they play in the Champions League come next season. Arsenal, of course, played out a 2-2 draw. They led by 2 goals, and then Aston Villa came back. And though Arsenal scored a late goal that came off the body of Kai Havertz, but it was adjudged that the ball actually came off the handball. A look at it again, so that the ball actually came off the stomach of Kai Havertz, and it should have been a goal. But the VAR chalked that one off, and it ended at 2-2 at the Emirates. Brentford, of course, lost 0-2 to Liverpool. Late goals by Liverpool to continue their surge to win this season, and it looks like Liverpool are galloping away with a game in hand. Liverpool may just be the champions, but still a lot of matches to be played, about 15 to 16 matches to still play, a lot of matches still to play to determine, and the gap is not so wide, about 6 points, though Liverpool still have a game in hand against Everton away from home, and we hear that game will be played on February 12th. Let's see if Liverpool can just nick it this season. And Leicester City lost at home to Fulham at the King Power Stadium 0-2. Ended. West Ham United nil, Crystal Palace 2, and Newcastle United lost 1-4 to Bournemouth. And the son of Patrick Kluivert was on the score sheet. I think he got a hat-trick in that match, and it was Bournemouth beating Newcastle United away from home at the St. James's Park. That's how it went down for results of matches played in the leagues in Western Europe. And that's it for the program this Monday morning. Thank you very much for being part of the show, and the show will continue for the rest of the week. 9:15 is the time on Tuesday down to Friday, and the concluding part on Saturday. My name is Ike Nwokedi. Have a lovely week, and remember to keep sporting. Bye-bye now.